Hey, you guys. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Liz, and this is the Besties in the Books podcast. Welcome in.
Welcome.
So, today we're going to be discussing Split or Swallow, Lindsay Straube's new Amazon best-selling book.
Congratulations.
It's so exciting. If you guys have been following along, we actually interviewed Lindsay, and she was our first author that we've ever had on here, which is so exciting. You know, that podcast was a bit more about, you know, her writing process, what she hopes people get out of the book, you know, what the people in her life think about it, like a kind of a little bit more like behind the scenes interview that is spoiler free for you guys. So today the first 15 minutes will be spoiler free, but then we're going to go into the deep dive. So we're going to do the Split or Swallow deep dive examination of this amazing book with you guys. But we will start off, you know, with our spoiler free star reviews, spice rating, and who we would recommend it for. Before we get into that. And then Ashley will, you know, give us the noise.
Yeah.
Give us
I'll
the
give
special.
you the noise.
The spoiler sounds. Yeah.
Yes, I will, for sure.
Spoiler sound of the day. But before we get into that, before we, you know, start talking about this wonderful book, we just want to say thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for being here today, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day and your book to come and take a little listen to us over here at Besties in the Books podcast. We would love it if you would consider following, subscribing anywhere you like to listen to your favorite podcast, including YouTube. So if you like to get a little visual aid, if you like to watch the podcast better, you know, whatever, pick your adventure, choose your adventure. You can check that out, and you can also check us out over on Instagram and TikTok at Besties in the Books podcast, where we are doing Smasher Passes, Unhinged edition. We're doing crowdsourcing from popular opinions, little giveaways here and there. So check us out there. Come hang out, send us a DM, say what's up, all that fun stuff. But yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at today. Yeah. Where are you?
So where are you? Where are you at? Let us know. We're out in space. That's where we are.
That's where our brains feel like, for sure.
Just floating around out in space. Yeah, seriously. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to mention before we get into our fave and fail of the day is that we do plan on doing more author interviews moving forward. So if there's someone who you really want us to try to get on the podcast, if you're friends with an indie author, if you read a series by an indie author that you absolutely love, DM it to us, like, and that way we can, like, put it in our good old little handy Google Doc that has a list of all the people that we would just, you know, hope to interview someday.
Yeah.
So let us know.
Yeah.
But, okay, so let's get into our fave and fail of the week.
Well, before we do that, like, you know, if you guys are over the... And then another thing. While you're following us over on Instagram, you know, we're talking about Lindsay's book today again. So make sure you're following Oxford Lemon over on Instagram. That is Lindsay's handle over there. So she has great, fun stuff to check out. So go check it out for sure while you're over on meandering.
While you're DMing us all the authors you want us to interview.
Yeah, you know, we have a homework list for you.
Yeah, you don't even
know. Nope, it's not. You're back in session with Besties in the Books podcast. We'll give you a list of things to do, because as if no one ever has stuff to do. Oh my gosh.
For any of the 30 Rock people, one of my favorite things that Tina Fey says on that show is there ain't no party like a Liz Lemon party, because the Liz Lemon party is mandatory.
Perfect.
So, yeah, Besties in the Books party is mandatory. So, you're welcome. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
So, okay, so this week we're just doing fave and fails of the week. We don't have a theme or anything like that. So, we're just going to kind of get into it. Do you want me to go first today, or do you want to go first?
I'll switch it up. I'll go first. I think it's been a minute. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
I honestly don't remember. Okay. My fave of the week is that we got a doggy. Oh,
that's so
if it
exciting.
Wouldn't disturb her slumber, I would pick her up and hold her right here for you guys to see on the tube. So instead, I will insert some video footage and some pictures for you guys to see. Miss Molly, that's her name. And I had to try to figure out a way to get some little fantasy vibes in there somehow. And my toddler was like, oh, Mommy, why does she have a feather tail? And I was like, what?
Oh,
and she has this little white tuft on the end of her tail. She's a Greater Swiss mountain dog, for anybody that knows, which is like a cousin of a Burmese mountain dog. Is that how you say it? So she doesn't have long hair, though. And she also is going to get really large, like maybe 130 pounds. So
Big
More
dog.
to love. We're so excited. But so she has a little tuft on her tail. And so I was like, feather tail, you say? Because everything I was trying to work with was, one, too obvious, or my husband would catch it and be like, no. And number two, wasn't fitting her. You know, you have to it has to fit a dog. So he came up with Molly, and when we saw her, we're like, oh, definitely a Molly. And the feather tail, I was like talking to him about that, and I was like, oh, maybe, you know, can we call maybe her middle name Moonplume? And he's like, maybe Molly Moon. And I was like, okay, I love that. So Molly Moon, after Moonplume, the feather tail from when the moon hatched. Boom, there you go.
I mean, she already has, like, in my opinion, she already has two really great nicknames, because it's like, I'm going to call her Moonplume when I come down there, because that's like just a fun word to say anyway. Moonplume, you know.
It is.
But then her original name, do you want to tell us about her original name?
Well, hello. It's meant to be. So her original, all her sisters were named after Mean Girls characters. So when I was looking for her, I was like, this is the sign. It's meant to be. So her original name was Katie or Caddy, depending on, you know, who's saying it. So I definitely was Team Caddy, but so it was hard to decide if we wanted, because a lot of times, you know, they always name dogs ahead of time, and you have to, it's usually pretty much a no-brainer to not get it, but I was just like, I do really like that for her.
It's a cool name. Well, it's like, that's why it cracked me up, because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to call her Caddy. And then it was funny, because it's like, that's exactly what Janice says. I'm going to call you Caddy. And I was like, I love that. It's so great.
Yeah, because I heard the girl calling her Katie, and when I was on the phone with her, she's like, yeah, so Katie's, you know, telling us about the different personalities, and I was like, thinking in my head that exact line too. Like, that's great. I'm gonna call her Caddy. So it wouldn't help with like recalling anyways, because it's a slight difference. So we might, you know, Molly fits her though, and it flows so good with Molly Moonplume. So
it's so cute.
I love it. I will fit in Mean Girls homage in there somewhere when I go to get her licensing this week. Because the girl said that's what they did with the middle names, because everybody like caught that. So so they did like middle name was is butter a carb, and then I think someone's middle name was on Wednesdays we were pink, like that kind of thing, because they were all girls too. So it was so cute. It was just so like, it felt so right, and she's so sweet, you guys.
It'll be like, and none for Gretchen Wieners, bye.
Molly Moonplume, none for Gretchen Wieners, bye. I was like thinking gruel, or it's October 3rd.
Ooh,
you know,
that's good. That's good.
Yeah. I gotta mess around with it a little bit. There's so many good
ones.
Yeah. I love it. So fun.
Ooh, Glen Coco.
Oh, shoot. That's a good one too. Guys, gotta think about it. Send it to me.
There's too many. There's too many
good ones. There's too many.
Add it to your homework list.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, add it to your homework list.
Yeah, what's your favorite?
Your favorite author? Yeah, we have another one. Stay until the end. We have a very special DM that I need you guys to send us. So make sure to listen to the end.
It's a reward for those of you who stick around. Yep.
Yeah, because we know how hard it is to listen to us for an hour. Ramble on tangents. So definitely listen to the end, and you will have an opportunity to be rewarded for your hard listening.
Your hard work. Yes, indeed.
My fail of the week is more so an ongoing fail that we quite don't have a solution for, and we have to laugh or else we'll cry.
Okay.
And that is, we use Google Drive for all of our bestie stuff. For some reason, here we go. If anybody has a solution or can let us know that we're not alone,
oh my God, we're giving them so much homework.
Sorry. I hope you guys have your pens and papers out. No, but like seriously, our Google Docs and Drive keep just throwing themselves in the trash. I go, like, Liz will upload something, and I'll be like, great, and I let it go, like, 12 hours, because at this point, we're superstitious, because I don't want to, like, mess anything up while it's uploading. So I'll wait a good chunk of time, and I'll, like, go to check, and either it's still processing, or it's there sometimes. It's a great little treat. Or, like, lately, everything is in the trash.
Oh my God.
Or sometimes some things are in the trash. But none of us are putting things in the trash. Like, I will specifically tell her, okay, I'm deleting last week's footage now, you know, and then it'll be gone, and I will like go physically empty it right away. So that way it doesn't, like, thank God when it goes into the trash, thank the crows, I should say.
Yeah.
When it goes into the trash, it'll stay there for like 30 days or something. But I just know one of these days it's gonna empty itself.
And it totally gave, I don't know if it gave you a heart attack or if it just gave me a heart attack. But when we were getting ready to go on the cruise,
both of us.
Yeah, it's like we opened the Google Drive and nothing's in there. Everything was gone.
Everything, you guys. And that's like all of our captions that we use, like links and idea lists that we have.
Literally everything.
Podcast.
Yeah, it's like our whole little brain gone. Everything's gone. So I was like, you know what? Before I panic, I'm just going to look in the trash. Literally everything was
just sitting in the trash for no reason. No reason. Except we went international. So what? I don't know. We were in international territory. It decided to dump itself. I don't know. First of all, when we started doing this, we were using our notes app. And obviously that just stopped working for us one day. We were sharing notes.
Which is super annoying. Yeah.
So we were like, okay, we won't do that. It doesn't make any sense, but okay. And that's unreliable. At least the Google Drive, we have a certain, thing set up. Everything I looked up said that was the number one solution. So we did that. And so now I'm like, okay, well, what else? Everything says everything else is so much worse. Dropbox is worse. So there's no winning. Technology, I swear, at this point is not real. It's all a facade. It's the Wizard of Oz guy with the curtain and he's going to unveil. And it's just like freaking paper cups and cardboard taped together is what is inside our computers.
Just to take it back to like the printer conversation, it's literally just the guy with the tennis sweatband on printing out the cruise photos. That's literally what's happening back there right now.
So someone's working at Google Docs and is just like, oh, I don't think they need these. Dump it. Just throw it all away. Just like someone behind the scenes is just pushing too many buttons. I don't know. But what it might have, no, it still happened. Never mind. I was going to say that first time it happened where all the docs went in the trash was kind of around that time that weird stuff was going on with Matt Microsoft or whatever, but it was still like 3 weeks later and ever since it's happened. So maybe there was a glitch when that happened.
Maybe.
I'm hopeful thinking that like they fix a bug, but yeah, right.
Yeah.
Good luck. As we like to say here. Okay, let's hear your fave and fail. Let's have at it.
Yeah. Okay, so my fail of the week. So listen.
The buildup.
I mean, I feel badly because I feel like I'm talking bad about us, but not because obviously I'm saying it out loud to us, but I still feel bad about it. So my fail of the week is that I am struggling so hard, and we'll talk about this more obviously, but I am struggling so hard to finish Harry Potter 4, The Goblet of Fire. It is like snooze central. Snooze central. Yeah, so that's my fail of the week because I'm trying. I'm like, literally, I am giving it my most effort. 100% effort. And I'll be like, okay, I've got, like last night I was like, I made, this is my legacy. Everyone's like, oh, we know you make s'mores. Well, I made a croissant s'more. I made croissant s'mores. So, I
your
took
hype s'more, if you will.
Yeah, my hype s'more. I was like, okay, I'm going to get like a little sugar rush. I got my like Diet Coke. I was like ready to go. I went and set up my little spot. It was only I think I texted you at like 7:19 p.m. It was like 7:19 p.m. last night. I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm locked and loaded. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get to at least, my goal is to get to at least to like 75% and then finish it today.
Yeah.
No, I made it to 50%. I fell asleep like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. Like, and I would only fall asleep for like, 5 minutes and then wake back up and be like, okay. And plus it was 7 o'clock at night. Like, I'm not going to go to bed that early. Like, anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like not even on a work night. So I was just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So it's struggle bus over here. But I figured you were going to say that as your fail. So I didn't want to go with that because I was, struggling. I wouldn't struggle as much as the beginning. It's been a roller coaster. Let's just say that. And now, and I'm listening to the audio. I fall asleep within 5 minutes every time. But if you want to turn it into a fave, natural ambient, Natural
you need something to fall asleep to. Just pop that on, read it, you'll fall asleep. Book 4. So we've been having a great time. For those of you who don't know, we're doing, a bonus series every Friday. Right now, we're doing the Harry Potter series because we've never read it before. So we're on book 4 the week that we're filming this. I know this is going out a little bit later, but, we're doing our best. And that is just, it's going to add to the review because we're just honestly, as adults, reading it, what we think about it. And oof.
But it did lead me, this is not my fave of the week, but this is something that I feel like we should talk about on here because it's relevant. It did lead me to do a little bit of research because here's the thing. All the Harry Potter books are, you know, quote unquote free or however you want to describe it.
Yes.
It's on Kindle Unlimited. So I'm not going to go out and I don't want to buy the audiobooks. Plus they're kind of spendy. Like on Audible, they're like at least $20 a piece. And I'm like, I already have like the Kindle version and I read like most of my stuff on Kindle anyway. But I'm thinking like, oh my God, if I'm going to get through book 4, like I'm really hoping that, you know, 5, 6, and 7 are better. But like, it's just a whole lot of middle school probs right now, you know, so I'm struggling. But yeah, I was like, you know, if I could bounce back and forth between an audiobook, that would be great. But I don't want to buy it. And so, and the Fable, or not the Fable, the Libby wait on it is like a century. It's like, we'll see you in 10 years, you know?
I got lucky that I like reserved it all when we first talked about it. So I've gotten most of them, but that's luck. That's luck.
It was a very long wait. So I'm like, okay, this is crazy. So I Googled it and there is like call it a hack, whatever. But basically you can go in and you can like enable, I don't remember what it's called, but like, I don't know, it's called like voice assistance or like, I don't know, something like that.
Accessibility?
Yeah.
Is it?
Okay. Yeah, accessibility, something like that. I need to like look at the exact terminology on Kindle. So you don't have to have a Kindle, but it works on that. Or you could just use the Kindle app, which is what I have on my iPad, my phone. And you toggle it on, and then you also have to do a couple things. You guys can Google it, but you have to do a couple things in your iPhone settings, and it will read your ebooks to you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So is it as like, you know, acted and theatrical as if you know, purchase the Audible like audiobook version? No, it's a little bit more robotic. Like imagine like Siri is reading it to you. You know what I mean? Maybe but a little bit.
You sent me an example and you're able to put it to a British accent, which is which the Harry Potter I'm listening to is that, obviously. And it sounded great. I thought.
Yeah. So, and you can like speed it up. You can slow it down. Yeah. You can choose the voice. So I kind of like went through all the voices on my iPhone and I picked the one that I thought kind of fit the story the best. So it's like I was telling Ashley, I'm not going to be like reading any like dark romances this way, but like for a book like this, it's perfect because I don't need any fanfare. I just need it to be like read to me. I need it to be filtered into my ears for me. So so for anyone who's interested, you know, that is definitely something that you can do with Kindle books you already own or ones that are just on Kindle Unlimited that you borrowed.
That's pretty cool, man.
So, pretty neat. Yeah. So that was not my favorite of the week. That was ironically kind of a tangential fail.
You know?
Public service announcement that stemmed from my fail. A discovery, if you will.
Yeah, well, because sometimes our fails lead us to a fave, you know?
Like a pot of gold. Great. There you go.
Yeah, the end of the rainbow, a really like sad, terrible rainbow.
if Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire wasn't so boring, it never would have led to this discovery.
Yeah. There
you go.
So,
no, my fave of the week is I went and saw that new movie, Strange Darling.
I've never even heard of that.
I had never heard of it either. And my husband had mentioned it. He had said, hey, this gets good reviews. I'm like, I don't care about what people put on the internet. Like, I literally don't care. Like, but then my sister texted me and she's like, you have to go see this movie. It's probably the best movie I've seen this year so far. It's so good. And I'm like, okay, I'm more of like, I will take what one person I know's opinion. I'll take that so much more seriously than 1,000 people on the internet. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. So, I was like, all right, that's kind of interesting. We should go see it. But I asked her because it looks like a horror movie. And I'm like, I don't want to watch anything gory or scary. Like, that's not for me. And she's like, no, I think you'll like it. It's like more of like a thriller. And I'm like, okay, interesting. And so my husband and I went and saw it a few days ago, and it's really good, guys. Like,
oh, nice.
I don't want to give anything away. It is mildly like graphic, so I would definitely like look up, you know, what it's rated R for. Like, it, you know, I could see it being triggering to some people because of the content, just like any thriller or horror movie would be, though. But like for me, someone who like, you know, I really don't like watching gory things at this point, and I get like kind of scared like pretty easily too. I really enjoyed it because I felt like it was just super unique and like well done. The music was good. The like, I don't know, the filming was good. The acting was excellent. And yeah, it brought up a lot of really interesting topics. Nice. So yeah, I would encourage people to go watch it. I think that a lot of our people would probably like it. Yeah. Nice. Mm-hmm.
You the people. So write that down, guys. DM Liz when you watch it.
Yeah. Well, I put a thing on my Instagram today that was like, I need to talk to someone about this. So please, like, if you've seen it, DM me so that we can talk about it, because I feel like I have a lot of mixed emotions about it. And I need to get them out in a way, like, I can't spoil anything here, but I want to talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Water cooler of the future.
Water cooler of the future.
That's what we need to do. Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
So,
there you go.
There's our fave and fail of the week. Should we get into the book? Should we talk about the book?
Let's talk about it.
Okay. So, this is still spoiler free. We'll just give our basic star and spice ratings for Split or Swallow by Lindsay Straube. Okay. So, I'll just go first this time for this. So I rated this book a 5-star. And I rated it a 5 spice, which to me is the perfect book. It's the perfect book. It's 5 spicy, 5 star. Guys.
So hard to do.
It's so hard to do. There's plenty of 5-star reads, that I've read that are usually, I'd say, they're low on the spice rating most of the time if they're 5 stars. If they're 5 spices, they can be good, but are they going to be a 5-star life-changing read? I don't know. I definitely feel like this book, just to get a little bit into, my basic spoiler-free review and who I'd recommend it to. I think the thing that makes this book so unique is there's a lot of really, in-depth themes and character development in the scenery of, something that's very smutty. And I feel like the balance is great, and is really hard to find in, in any type of book where you're like, okay, it's super smutty, there's many scenes, but at the same time, the world building was really interesting, the character development was really interesting, and so, yeah, I was fully immersed in the world, but then it's also a page turner because it's you're reading smutty scene after smutty scene, which is great. I love it. Yeah. So I would recommend it to pretty much anyone who is interested in reading any type of romance book, really. If you read fantasy and you like romance, you'd probably like it. If you read romance and you're maybe wanting to try out fantasy, you'd probably really love it because it's not super heavy on the fantasy or world building to the point where you're going to be so confused by it or anything, paying super close attention to that. I feel like it probably has a really wide audience, and that's probably one of the reasons why it's doing so well on Amazon right now, because so many different people can enjoy it. Yeah.
Something for everyone.
Something for everyone. And it is technically, it's Lindsay said on our interview, it is technically a monster romance, and we'll get into that in a little bit as far as what it's about. But at the same time, it's like what she said, where it's just kind of a regular romance too. Yeah, for sure. And so it's conventional and unconventional. So that's what you're saying. Yeah. It's choose your own adventure. Mm-hmm. I can see how people would get different things out of it, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Conventional, unconventional, but nothing that I've read before. So that was refreshing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unique. Very unique ideas. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for me, 5-star, and I go with Liz for the spice rating on this one. She's my spice girl. So 5 spice. Yeah, I would agree to that anyways. So I want to, clarify that whilst I'm not particularly a smutty girl that, people say on the webs, I'm don't care if it's there, don't care if it isn't, kind of usually. Mm-hmm. I don't want people to ever feel hesitant to read it because it's smutty, that there's romance scenes involved, because it's, she's really good at writing those, and she's really good at interweaving this plot. You're instantly thrown into the world, and things are very normalized, so it's very different than our world. And I feel like there's a very nice empowerment theme that's going on within the book. And I think that you should give it a try, see how you like it, and have fun.
Yeah, have fun.
Because,
see where it takes you.
And the ending, I felt like, was so good. I loved it. I truly loved how things happened with that. So
I feel like it hits you in the feels. If that's something that you like, I feel like that's why the ending to me was unique, because it's like it elicits that emotional reaction from you, which I feel like a lot of times when I'm reading romance books, like I don't really feel those like deeper connections to the characters as much. Yeah. Okay, so should we get into the spoiler section?
Ah!
Oh my god.
That's your cue to exit.
That legitimately freaked me out. Like that first part, I'm like, what's happening? What is going on?
It was like a little bit of like a rooster crow, if you will, and a snake. So
yeah, pertinent. It was relevant to our conversation today. I did not hear rooster. I just kind of, but now that you're saying it, it kind of makes sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So there you go. That means spoilers up ahead. Land ho. If you are just listening to this one, and you haven't checked out the interview yet, but you're like, okay, I kind of want to know more, go check that out.
Yeah.
It's a great interview. Thank you so much. Shout out to Lindsay for coming on our podcast and let us interview her. It was so nice, like hearing the author's like reasonings and her choices and having all of that kind of backstory. It really like made me even have more feelings for the book.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, I think
it was really cool.
Like sometimes, especially if we're reading really, really, quote unquote popular books by really famous authors, the SJMs of the world, it's like we can feel very detached from the author. The author doesn't, they are people, but they seem less like people because they're kind of like this very like, they're like an idea of a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that, and I think that's one of the really cool things about Bookstagram Book Talk is that it's like we can get to know the authors that are writing the books that we love. That's so freaking cool. We can see them as people and have conversations with them. And it's amazing. It's one of the things I love about it the most. So I completely agree.
It's great.
So, all right. So should we get into this crazy, twisty turny,
Let's do it.
Turny.
Twisty turnies, twisted turns.
Yep. So,
Basilisk, guys.
Basilisk, smut. Basilisk's doing it. Okay, so let's just paint the scene. Let's paint the picture. Let's set the scene.
Let's give some tropes real quick here. What we got? We got why choose? We got choose your own adventure. We
have what? What was the second one you said?
Choose your own adventure.
Choose your own adventure. Yeah.
But like, we get to see decision making happening kind of thing. That's not a trope. But that inner monologue.
Well, it's
kind
of like
what else we got?
That would be like a love triangle. So like,
that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Decision making. Yeah, love triangle.
So we've got why choose. We've got love triangle. So right there, we're already giving something away because this is like, is it a love triangle or is it a why choose? We don't really know. Yeah. We'll get into that.
Exactly. You got to find out yourself.
I think that there's a little bit of element of enemies to lovers in the beginning. For I think all of the love interests really.
Yeah, multiple there's enemy. Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't last long, but there definitely is an element of that in the beginning because of the world building that's kind of established. Obviously there's monster romance because one of the love interests is a basilisk. He does take the form of a basilisk a few times in the book, but primarily he is in a human form.
Yeah.
And let's see, what else would there be? I would say it's a coming of age tale. That's a big part of it.
Not like 13, but like, a different type, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't really know how to say it. It's like,
it's coming of age.
It's coming of age, but it's like, I don't know how to
coming
put
into
this.
your own.
Yeah.
Female empowerment.
I think, so it'd be like a segue with that. So, Tem is like, what? She's in her early 20s?
Now, there's a specific age, but I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, she's somewhere around there, I want to say, though. So it's kind of like that idea that, she's learning who she is. She's becoming empowered as a person, but also like sexually, which is really important in this book. Yeah, I mean, I would say that those are all really great, like themes, tropes from this book for sure.
Definitely. Yeah.
So the book starts off, and this is what I thought was really cool, was it immediately sucked me in because of the amount of, in my opinion, very straightforward, uncomplicated world building that happens right in the beginning. It gives us, I think one of the things that's really interesting about the book is that we're given the information we need, and extraneous information is just not there. So it's like, I feel like I loved that because we're not sifting through a million world building details to try to remember the few that we need to know. We're only given the ones we need to know, and they're very important.
Yep.
So it's like right out of the gate, we're basically told that, you know, the basilisks and the humans, however long ago, I can't remember, you know, have this war. They come to a truce or an agreement, essentially, where they'll, you know, stop being at war with each other. If, you know, the humans are kind of like living in this enclosed space, the basilisks are living on the outside of this enclosed space that's like kind of protected by mirrors, because if basilisks look at themselves, then they'll turn to stone, right?
Yeah, that's the theory.
Yeah. Okay, so...
And then also like something with the roosters. So Chem's mother, you know, is a chicken farmer, rooster farmer too. Yep, to help with that.
So everyone like has a rooster, right?
Yeah.
Like in their household, I think. Because they're scared of them. Like this is all like basilisk
it's
lore.
not important even, you know? Like there's a little sprinkle of it.
It's just it sets the scene, but and it makes it enjoyable to read because there is that element of world building, but it's not overly complicated, which I did like. So,
for sure.
So, you know, her mom's a chicken farmer, and she's kind of always like kind of made fun of, chastised about it. She, you know, lives within these walls with all the village people. And then basically the way that Lindsay described it was you end up with kind of like a bachelorette or bachelor type elimination situation where you have a group of, I think there was like around 20, you know, young women who are in competition to, you know, woo the prince, future king, to be his future, you know, queen, because he will get handed the crown as soon as he gets married to this new woman.
And it's anybody in that realm, we'll call it, and of that same age that the prince is. Yeah. So it only comes every so often. Yeah. You know? So Tem is that same age, so she's automatically in that running. Yeah. Yeah.
And all that, you know, and it's just the way it is. It's been like this for so long. It's like everyone's used to it. Everyone knows that, you know, if you fit into this category, then that's going to be your destiny, is to participate in this competition to potentially be the queen. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting, though. I mean, that's already interesting, right? But where it gets real interesting is that, well, how do you learn to win over the prince? Right? Like, how are you supposed to woo him more than all these other, you know, women woo him? And that is through basically a sexual education with a basilisk who you're assigned to. So that's
because they are such sexual beings. Yeah. So they are the ones to know it all, and they want to
teach you.
Yeah. So there you go. So everybody gets assigned their own personal basilisk that they go to every night.
In the cave.
In the caves.
And they teach you the ways. They teach you the wily ways of how to impress the prince. Yeah. And there you go. Then you're kind of paraded around through a series of... I don't even know
like dates and, you know, balls and things where the prince is not just sleeping with everybody right out the gate. He's getting to know them too and eliminating through different things. I mean, they start having some things. So, and, but, you know.
Well, it depends. It depends on, like, you have to read it. You have to read it. We're actually not going to tell you anything about the book.
I'm not going to tell you anything.
Well, no, it's like some of the contestants, you know, think that the best way to win over the prince is to just, you know, have sex with him on the first date, or to basically, like, just be like, do whatever you want with me. And, you know, Leo, who's our prince, you know, he likes a challenge. He can have whoever he wants. He's the prince.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest, you know, it's like...
Does he just want to lay, or does he want, well, something else?
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. So, you know, Tem, and we talk with Lindsay about this too, is very, like, even though, you know, she's of low social ranking, you know, she's chastised a lot for that reason. Never has really felt like she fits in very well. She doesn't have, you know, she doesn't know who her father is. So she's raised by her single mother, who they don't seem very close either for most of the book. You know, it's like she still seems to have a very strong sense of self, a very high, you know, self-worth. She knows that she deserves, you know, really good things in her life. And she doesn't take any crap, which I think is great. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
I really enjoyed her character for those
She's
reasons.
not like a meek little young, you know, naive girl. Even though she may be naive in just one department, you know, she's willing and open to learn, and she does. And but, you know, like, mentally, she's not a naive person.
Yeah, no,
she has that
not
self-awareness and empowerment about her, which is refreshing in the fantasy world. 100%.
Well, I think it's this idea that it's like, you know, even to the prince, who, you know, to a certain degree should be feared, you know, and obviously whether you respect him or not, you have to pretend like you do, because it's just like how it works in society, you know, in this society. Still, she's like, I feel like she stands up for herself. No, you're not going to treat me that way. No, you're not going to talk to me that way. I don't have to do anything that you ask me to do if I don't want to. You know, this is about me just as much as it is about you. And I think that because of that, Leo gains a respect for her very early on. That's reciprocated, and I really appreciated that. Even though Leo was not my favorite of the two, I still enjoyed his character. I still thought he was a good character. Yeah. So, okay, so here she goes into her cave. Into her cave of wonders.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And that's where she meets Caspen, who's like the super old. He's not old. He doesn't look old.
But, you know, it's old. Like Faye. Yeah. Where they're 500 years old, but not. Yeah. They don't look it. They have the wisdom of.
Yeah, he looks like he's 28, you know, or whatever. Yeah. But he's probably, I don't know how old he is. Probably like 300 or something. Yeah. He's been around. He knows what he's doing, you know? And so, but they seem to have like a more personal connection, like right out of the gate, aside from, like, it's supposed to just be like a teacher-student situation, but they clearly have a deeper connection. And at this point, like, Tem doesn't really know why. She's kind of like, is everyone getting treated this way by their basilisk? Like, or is it just me? Like, she doesn't really know.
Yeah, she doesn't really, nobody really talks about it with each other. Her mom went through it. She didn't talk to her about it. And she also kind of surprised Caspen right out the gate, you know? So that made him differently. And you have to remember, too, that he's trained other girls, too. So she's not like other girls. Yeah. You know?
Well, he's in a good way, not in a weird way. Yeah, he's not just trained other girls. His girls are always the ones that win.
Yes, that's right.
Because he is the serpent. You think he's the serpent king, but you find out later that he's actually the serpent prince. So, but he, you know, he ends up being the king. But he has a reputation for sure. So she's like, oh, he does this all the time with girls. Like, I'm nothing special. But then at the same time, she's like, I don't know. I kind of feel like I am something special because it seems like we have this connection. Yeah. And they talk.
But as you're reading it, you don't really know. You're like, oh no, is she like going to get her heart broken? Like, is she really just another one? Or is this something, because you're feeling it as a reader. You're like, this does seem like something more. It does seem. So you go through it too as a reader.
Yeah. So I feel like that's kind of a fun, like, little element. You're like, what are they? Are they fated mates? Is he this is just his personality? And the thing that I like, too, is that Caspen is very, he's like the dark, mysterious, you know, quote unquote man of few words. It's like he's not given up a whole lot of information about himself. He's not, you know, that type of guy. Whereas like then you have Leo on the other hand, who she goes, you know, to the castle to one of these, you know, balls or parties or whatever that they have to do. And they obviously have a connection and like each other too.
Yeah.
He's a little bit more, you come to find out, like heart on the sleeve. But he's also human. You know what I mean? So I think he's a little bit more vulnerable.
Yeah.
As a person.
He's one of those like, he's not going to just open up to anybody, but when you're in, he's going to tell you everything and entrust his heart with you. Yeah.
And I think that's why I liked Leo's character because you know, you guys know me. Like, if he is a golden retriever, I'm getting icked out. If he's telling us too much about his feelings, I'm getting icked out. Like, if he's too nice, I cannot deal with it. And I'm just like, ooh, no, get away.
Yeah.
But, like, I felt like Leo was a good balance. He was a good balance of, like, I don't know, just being... It's, like, hard to even describe his personality because it's just, like, once you read it, you're like, Leo's just Leo. It makes sense. He's just himself, but, like, at the same time, he is guarded because he has had trauma of his own. And so he's not just too like forthcoming and like emotionally dumping on her either. Yeah, which I liked.
Sure. Yeah, definitely a good balance for him.
So we end up in a love triangle. That's what happens.
Yeah, that's what
as you do. As you do, you end up
with the basilisk.
Yeah, you've got like, who do I choose? Do I choose this basilisk shifter snake dude, or do I choose the, you know, the safe choice? I would say, which is obviously the human prince, and they all love each other. I mean, Caspen and Leo don't love each other, but you know what I mean? They both love her. What I thought was unique about the story too is that they both love her and they know about each other because of this whole process.
Yeah.
So this is not like a secret. Like,
so you don't get that kind of icky feeling because everybody's open about everything. So it's very different than other books that try to like do that kind of love trial situation. There's no hidden anything. No. She's very open and forthcoming about her feelings because she's talks about why shouldn't I be? You know, this is just my human nature, and you know, we find out later basilisk nature about her. So let's talk about some of these twists. The first twist is Caspen does have feelings for her and has gifted her an engagement lanyard necklace.
Well, okay. I was like, what are you going to talk about? Are you going to talk about the claw or are you going to talk about the engagement necklace?
There's lots of twists and turns in this one, just like a snake would, you know? So you got to know that.
Yeah, he gifts her a few things. So, well, there's a few connections they have. So he gifts her the claw. If you know, you know. Yep. There's only, it's a very unique.
It's the claw.
It's the claw. You're scared of the claw. No, I mean, it's great. Good for her. Good for her.
Yeah,
Sounds fun. Sounds fun. But yeah, so he gives her this claw, but then also, he gifts her this necklace that's made from his blood that is also in the form of a claw. And you find out that it's basically like when a basilisk gifts that to someone, it's like you're proposing to them.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
So she doesn't know that right away until later. And then she's like, oh, whoa.
Yeah, she's like, oh, great. That would have been nice to know that you proposed to me. I didn't even know that. And he's like, well, it's because it's too complicated. And then we find out why. But but then they also have like a mind-to-mind connection as well. So that's really cool.
They find out essentially through the claw, right? Something like that. Like they, you know, things are going on.
Now
they
I'm
talk
just
to each
picturing Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Great. that makes it creepy. That makes it creepy.
Ruined it for everyone.
I know.
You're welcome.
Sorry
Jeez.
about that. But yeah, so yeah, I think that they do figure that out. But basically, they have this like mind-to-mind connection. They can communicate. They can talk to each other. You know, she ends up telling Leo about that. He's obviously jealous. I think that's also the thing that I love is that Caspen is jealous. Leo is jealous. Clearly, they are. However, they're able to like put on their big boy pants and say, oh, this was a situation that society at large has put Tem in. Yeah. This was not...
and, like, of course, you're going to have feelings, you know, catch feelings.
Yeah. And it's like, this is obviously a special situation because we do find out that Tem is half basilisk. But still, even so, it's like, can we really blame any of the people involved for the outcome when you're literally creating this circumstance for everyone.
Yeah. They're both very respectful of her boundaries, too.
Yeah.
You know? So, appreciate that.
I really liked it because I was like, I'm just so used to reading books where, the touch her and die vibes are strong, And I feel like there were touch her and die vibes in this book, but it wasn't towards each other. Like, Caspen was not that way towards Leo, and Leo wasn't that way towards Caspen, but they were both very protective of her. And I liked that a lot. I was like, but it was very unexpected. I was like, oh no, when's one of them going to like try to kill the other one? Or, whatever. And that just never happened. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty unique.
Yeah. Because they have the self-awareness to know that, like, well, if I do that, then I don't get her at all because she's gonna freaking be pissed at me for killing the other one.
Yeah, because she's in love.
So it was good. It was very well done. Love triangle, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, and if you have the Kindle copy or you have the paperback, there is a bonus chapter that's called the Challenger Scene at the end of the book, which I guess I'm like, are we allowed to talk about that? I think we're allowed to talk about that because we're in the spoiler section, right? Like we can tell the people what it's about. So basically it's like a bonus scene if, Leo, Caspen, and Tem all had some sexy time together.
Yeah.
All three of them. So enjoy
what that would look like.
Yeah, what that would look like.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was all written very like respectfully for everyone involved.
Well, I really like how she plugs it in. Like, this is where I would have put it within the story. So if you would like to, kind of remodel the story in your mind. Because I was honestly waiting for it. I was like, from what I've seen from Lindsay on her Instagram, I'm like, oh, that's for sure what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it didn't. So I was kind of shocked. But then it does potentially. And I feel like it would, whether you have that in or not, it perfectly makes sense how it continues on after
Either
that.
way.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like towards the ending and everything. Like the dynamic doesn't change in my mind for the story. It's just, a little treat she gave you guys. A little sprinkle.
A little sprinkle. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little wide shoes, sprinkle. So.
All right, how did you feel about the ritual?
I love that you're asking me this because that was clearly my favorite part. Okay, so here's the thing. I think I DM'd this to Lindsay at one point where I was like, why choose Leo or Caspen when Bastian's an option? Like, I don't understand. Like, my brain is short-circuiting. Like, if I was Tem, I would have been like, sorry, both of you.
Yeah.
Like, I am now the Serpent Queen. I am marrying Daddy Bastian. Like, it just is what it is. So I was here for the ritual through and through. I thought it was genius. I did not see it coming. I was like,
no.
Well, because so the ritual, right, is what, so, okay, let's back up. Let's back up for a second. Okay, so Caspen gives Tem the necklace. She doesn't know it's him asking her to marry her, So she finds this out and she's like, well, why wouldn't you just ask me, like, hello, and he's like, well, because, the basilisks are pretty particular. We have different rituals, and in order for you to be accepted as my fiance and therefore future bride, you have to have sex with my dad.
Like, what?
Yeah, and I did not see that coming at all. I had no clue that was going to be a thing, and I was like, mind blown. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Yeah, so I'm thinking there's going to be like some way that they're going to get out of it, because that just seems like, I don't want to say too unhinged, because there's truly nothing that I've read in a dark romance that's too unhinged, but like, I don't know, man. I don't know. How's this going to go down? And not only is it like a ritual where she has to sleep with his dad, but everyone is watching.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to go that extreme, So I was like, okay, that's, but yeah, everybody's there too. So it's multi-elemental.
Yeah, multi-dimensional.
That's not the right word.
Multi-dimensional. So, so, I mean, but, it happens. And you get to read about it.
Such is the basilisk way.
It is.
Right?
And
that's what they say.
She triumphs, and he gives them his blessing. And and it works out.
When it just continues on. You think that's it.
Yeah.
No, it just keeps going.
It does keep going.
Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing. The way that Bastian is described, okay, and I was like, why is there not more about him? The fact that the fact that he dies, I was so bummed because I was like, this has to be going somewhere. Like, I was so sad about it. And he dies in like this horrible way too, like super gory, like horrible way. But yeah, it's like in that moment, you know, where she's describing what Bastian looks like, I'm like, oh, so he looks like Caspen, but older and hotter.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, why is this a choice? So, anyways, yeah, the ritual is probably my favorite part. Moment of silence for Bastian. Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Yeah, even though he's a little bit of a POS, you know, but that's all right.
Yeah. But, you know, but at the same time, it's like, was he? Yeah, but at the same time, he was upholding, like, pretty ancient traditions. So,
yeah, such as the Basilisk way.
Such as the Basilisk way.
Basilisk.
But, I mean, that's one of the themes, though, is like, you know, just because it has been done, it doesn't need to continue to be done. There can be better ways to do things, and we can evolve and grow as people or snakes.
Or snakes. We can shed that skin. Move on.
Yep.
So after that, what happens, Liz?
What happens? I mean, we already kind of talked about it. Tem finds out that she's half basilisk, so that's obviously really important. She, you know, the crest becomes the solution. So she's supposed to infiltrate, you know, the human court, you know, at the wedding because, you know, Leo's choosing her. And then she's supposed to crest the royal family, which is basically like brainwashing them. I don't even really know, like turning them into like a kind of compliant, just chill zombie who's just like willing to do whatever you want kind of a thing.
It's almost like what the Blood Oath would do in Throne of Glass, right? With Maeve.
Yeah.
Like they tell you to do something, you have to do it. You can't refuse it.
But I feel like the Blood Oath was a little bit different because it's like, you know, they would kind of like mentally they didn't always agree with what she was saying.
True.
I feel like the crest was a little bit different because it's like you're blissfully unawares that you don't agree with it. It's kind of like you're just like, doop-a-doop, like they want me to do this. Okay, great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's supposed to do that to the whole royal family. She's like, absolutely not. I'm not doing that to Leo or his sister or her kids. I'll do it to the other people, though. That's fine. And
to make that agreement.
And
that was interesting to like see how that was going to unfold because I was like, how is she going to
pull
do
that
all
off?
this? Have her cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it was beautifully done. It was.
Yeah. So I feel like, you know, at the end, you end up with this really interesting scene where she essentially crests herself.
Yep.
Which I thought...
Because you have, it's a whole bunch. But, before that. Because, Caspen rips Rose, you know, nether regions off. And then, because he tried to crest her, so then something happens to Caspen, right? And then he has to crest Tem because he's dying. But then in turn, the basilisk side of them, he's dying. Yeah. And then she's dying. So she's like, oh crap. And this crazy scene is unfolding. Bastian. It's so hard for me to read these names and then start saying them out loud. So I oftentimes will stutter over and stumble over my names.
Well, especially because like in Crescent City, it is Bastian. So it's confusing.
Is that what I'm mixing it up as?
Yeah.
And then I think I keep calling Caspen Caspian.
Yeah.
Because that just flows off my tongue, I think, easier. But anyways, so you have all his threats being made, and that moment that she realizes that she has the power to heal herself. Golden, guys. Yeah. Golden girls.
Golden girls. Game changer.
It was great. Yeah.
So you have just like this mayhem. Like before she can even like crest the royals, right? It's like she's basically going to try to do it, and then all these basilisks overtake the ceremony essentially and start killing all the humans.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. It's a bloodbath. It's crazy. Like the way it was described was just like literally body parts flying freaking everywhere. Just
When we found out, too, at one point that they were like, we actually could be in control. Like, the mirrors don't do anything. We just let them think that.
Well, because they don't do anything when they're in their human form. They only do anything when they're in their basilisk
and the humans
form.
are too dummies to, like, realize that. And her dad is in the dungeon.
Exactly. Okay, so that is a pivotal moment in time, I think, when she chooses to tell Leo that her dad... Well, first of all, she tells Leo that she's half basilisk. Also, P.S., my father is a prisoner that you're keeping, that your dad is keeping under the castle with the rest of the basilisks, where they're, like, essentially mining them for gold from their blood.
Yeah.
And she's entrusting him with that information with the hopes that he will understand that that's morally reprehensible and choose to change this moving forward. And he does so. I was like, wow, I was really impressed that he was so open to that
hearing her
idea.
out. Yeah. For
Mm-hmm.
sure. And accepting it. Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're pretty much like, you know, they're trained to believe that the basilisks are not, you know, that they're not people.
Scary.
They're not
bad,
people, but
and they're below them too.
Below them, I think that's a good way to put it.
Like she said, there's also very, like, with her being low in society within her own town, there's a lot of social hierarchy at play as well, and themes within this book. Yeah.
So, kind of in that final scene, you know, she has to crest Leo.
Yeah.
Oof. And I think that was a really cool moment where I didn't expect it to go that direction, but I thought it was really cool. And that's what I meant earlier when I said kind of like getting into your feels, is this idea that, you know, she knew that Leo had this first love that his dad forbade him from being with. And, you know, this haunted Leo his whole life. He's just heartbroken over this.
He still goes to their special tree every day to wait for her.
That's so sad. And, you know, rather than choosing to, you know, selfishly keep him, Tem crests Leo and then orders him to go find his first love to be with her. Yeah. And I'm like, what an ending. Like, what a way to, you know, so it's like, you know, she's still going to be with Caspen. They're going to be happily together. You know, Caspen's now the Serpent King because he murdered his dad in this crazy way. Yeah. And so they're going to be together and, like, you know, hopefully lead the basilisks into this, like, future, you know, different way of being in conjunction with Leo, who also is going to lead the humans, or at least we're assuming at this point, into a better way of being as well, where everyone can kind of coexist with each other. So I thought that was a really good ending. Yeah, I did not see the ending coming at all. I did not know. I was like, during that whole, like, the, you know, love triangle, how is this gonna play out? Because not at that point, once you get the love triangle built up, you also have this hierarchy at play between the basilisks and the humans, and then the, you know, basilisks being used for parts and salvaged, their whatever. And I just didn't, I'm like, how is she gonna connect all of this together? And I think it was so well done, and it was so, whoa, craziness is going on. It's like, just what I like in an ending. Well, I was kind of, like, logistically wondering, because, I mean, Leo says, you know, even if I could only have you part of the time, like, I still want you. And basically Caspen says the same thing, but I'm thinking, okay, but how is she going to be, like, the Serpent Queen and then also, like, the Human Queen at the same time? Like, that doesn't really... I don't know how they would make that work. So I felt like that was a really good ending. Socially, exactly. Like, they might have been able to make it work. Because both sides are totally against each other. Yeah. So, yeah. So, who knows what will happen with them in the future? Yeah. With any future stories. We're not sure yet, but I feel like it leaves it open to the potential of a sequel, but also wraps up nicely if that's something that you like. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Oh, and then her mom and dad getting reunited at the end was, like, so cool. Yeah. I loved that so much. That was really nice. Yeah. And I definitely, you know, seriously, I'm sure you already listened to the interview, but if you haven't yet, like, you know, Lindsay goes into the
the conversation that Tem had with her mom, you know, towards the end, and that was such a meaningful, special moment for her to write, and I think it was beautiful to read, too. So definitely check that out. Yeah, there's definitely some healing elements involved, self-healing, self-discovery, stuff involved within this book. Lots of themes. You can't even sum them up in just a few tropes, you know, because she just really did a great job storytelling, making it all together.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that it was a really, like, overall, I think the biggest theme that I took away from it was this idea that, you know, it's like Lindsay said in the interview, women aren't really taught to put our own, you know, needs first, let alone our own pleasure first. And so I think it's this idea that, like, I'm not going to just be a pawn in this game between these two men. Or a snake and a man. I am going to, you know, grow into my power and learn how to make this work for me too. And I thought that was really cool.
I think that's something that they both liked about her too, is that she demanded the same, you know, pleasure and respect and everything that they demand. And that's another reason why, like, with the challenge or whatever for Leo, the bachelor contest for Leo, you know, is that she's advocating for herself, much different than the other girls are just throwing themselves at him. So yeah, it's cool.
Absolutely.
Very well done.
I know. I think that pretty much sums that up. So do you want to do our little announcement now before we get into our Smasher Passes?
Yeah, you guys, if you stuck around this long and listen to us ramble on about all these fun things we talked about, we're doing a giveaway just for you guys who stuck around. All right? So it's a secret.
We're not posting this anywhere.
Secret
it's just
serpent giveaway. What are we giving away, Liz?
We're giving away a copy of Split or Swallow.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, where is it? Oh, it's back here. So we will be giving away a paperback copy of, obviously, this book that we have been talking about. But you will have had to make it to this section to know about it. Because like I said, we're not posting about it anywhere else. And what did you say? DM us on Instagram.
Just because YouTube makes it really hard to reach out to people. So sorry, if you want to enter, you do have to go to our DMs and DM us a snake. Just DM us a snake emoji, GIF, whatever, and we'll know. We'll know who it is, and we'll put all your names in a hat and pick something, you know?
Yeah.
And that's Besties in the Books podcast, so go check it out. Even if you have a copy already, still enter, because you can gift one. Holidays are coming. What better time than now to gift your mother a little spicy snake book, you know? Or someone that you know, gift it along, pass it along, even if you don't need it. If you already have one.
I was thinking about that when we were doing the interview, because we asked a question about like what Lindsay's family and people that she knows in real life think about this book. And, you know, she said everyone in her life's been really supportive. Her mom read the whole thing. And, you know, that got me kind of thinking in that moment, like, you know, I've suggested tons of books to my mom, but I always suggest the ones that, you know, are very, very neutral, like nothing with like too much romance in it. And I'm like, I wonder what my mom would do if I was like, you know what, you should read this book. Like,
and she finally picks one and that's the one?
You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know.
Like, would she secretly be like loving it and not telling you? Or would she like be like, a Liz? You know?
I honestly have not the slightest idea how she would respond. No clue. But yeah, so just go to, Besties in the Books podcast on Instagram, DM us a sneak emoji or something like that. We'll know who you are, and then we will send you a book if you're the winner. Yeah,
US only, please, just because we're shipping direct from Amazon, and we'll run this for a week. So this goes up on a Tuesday. We will pick a winner, you know, by next Tuesday. Yeah. Keep it Tuesdays. Keep it cool.
See you next Tuesday.
There we go. Yeah. Always, all around.
Okay, we're going to do Smash or Pass, but I have to know because we didn't talk about it. Like, you obviously know I'm Team Bastian. If I can't have Bastian, Caspen will do, I guess. Yeah. So who are you?
You know, it's something I've had to think a lot about because there's pros and cons to both of them. And
indeed,
I just think that I would have to go with Leo.
Yeah,
what a surprise. I know. I surprised myself with that one. Yeah.
Why?
Because Caspen doesn't talk enough. Like, I don't know. I need somebody a little bit more open than that, I guess. You know?
I'm like thinking
humorous.
About my husband.
I don't feel like Caspen has any humor either. So,
totally
and Leo definitely. You know? So we know who you will pick, but let's be clear, shall we? Who would you pick?
I mean, what do you mean?
I mean,
I would pick Caspen.
Yeah, and I was going to say no Bastian.
Yeah, he's gone.
Bastian.
He got his head ripped off.
Yeah, he got his head ripped off. Sorry.
Yeah, he's gone. No, I would definitely pick Caspen. It's like, as you're describing him, you're like, he doesn't talk that much. I'm like, yeah, that's like my husband. He has, he's got a sense of humor, but it's kind of like very, very deep in there. Also my husband. I'm like, yeah, it makes perfect sense. It really, truly does.
Yeah.
I mean, also the fact that he's like 300 years old works in his favor.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. That almost is what made me go to the other side. Because I'm like, oh, Leo's pretty young though.
He is. He's like
but
also early 20s.
If I were Tim, I would have still picked Caspen because we don't know about the half breed. She could live a lot longer, and I just always feel like so sad for those connections when one is mortal and one is not, because
it's like an Aragorn situation. It's a heart, pulls on your heartstrings.
It always does. So I'm just like, you gotta just go with the less heartbreak. Oh, yeah.
But you did like Leo better. Interesting.
Yeah.
I think I can't get past he gives Dorian.
That's kind of why I like him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because I do like Dorian. I didn't like him at first, but by the end, which is exactly what Leo did to me. So, Leo's just missing some special powers, so.
I've got respect for Dorian.
Yeah.
Because he has potential with his little shadows. But yeah, he just never really did it for me. Like, he's a cool guy and I'd be his friend, but he's just never my favorite.
Yeah. Controversial take because of the gold, but I do like Leo's gold fangs. Gold-tipped fangs. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Controversial take.
Well, because, Basilisk harm.
I know, Basilisk harm. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, though. Maybe he got that gold from somewhere else.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know for sure.
Well,
I would say out of everything about Leo, I think that, the gold fangs were the best part.
Yeah.
Definitely. For sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, also his personality, but mostly the fangs.
Yeah.
Okay. So, why don't you go first? No, I think I'm going to go first with Smash or Pass this week.
All right. That feels right to you. Do it.
Okay. So, I thought that this was really timely because I actually saw Lindsay at Oxford Lemon posting a bunch of stuff about this today, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, we have not done this before."
Perfect.
So hers was the inspiration for this today. So you have to pick one.
Okay.
Are you picking Merry, Pippin, Sam, or Frodo?
Gross.
Gross.
Was not expecting that. Okay. Okay. I know. I think it's Mary. He's the one that was in Lost, right? His name in real life is like Damien. Well, I'll pop a picture up of the one I'm talking about.
Well, now I'm curious
He's the
I don't
looking
remember.
little guy.
Mary.
I always mix up Mary and Pippin, obviously, but I'm pretty sure it's Mary.
Okay, I'm just gonna make sure. So, I don't know. Yeah, Dominic Monaghan? Is that who you're talking about?
Yep, that's the one. And fun fact, I actually served him one day back when I was a server.
Yeah.
Yep. He was nice. His friend left no tip, but it wasn't his fault.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez, I'm just calling people out as if he's watching. But
I hope he's watching and he feels bad about it.
Yeah, he was great. They're fun. I didn't I didn't even talk about it or anything. I was just a normal server, but I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. And he was a good looking dude. So
yeah, okay, cool. And he was nice.
And he had an accent, so I mean, hello. There you go. In real life. So he didn't have a fake Frodo. He didn't have a fake Hobbit accent. Yeah, and he was super nice. So this is very biased. But even still, if I had never met them in real life, I would still pick him just because he's the silly, fun one. Frodo's a little traumatized at this point. He seems like he needs some work done. Sam, I honestly feel like, I don't know if he's interested in girls at the end of the day. I think he really loves Frodo.
Oh,
So justice for Sam. I wish he could be with him,
Yeah, I mean, but Frodo's insufferable, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know
and
if
Pippin
is
a hard no. Pippin's the bottom of the list if we were doing a ranking system here. Okay, but who would you choose?
That's so funny because Pippin is probably the one I would choose.
Why? Why?
I don't know. Because he's Scottish. He has like a real Scottish accent.
That'll
so I'm like,
do it.
all right. Yeah. I mean, he looks like he's probably actually short though. So I don't know.
That's the thing. I think they all are. So maybe Sam. No, I think he might be. I don't know. Well, they all have like one thing going for them. So we have to just pick out of the one thing. Sorry, guys. But do you wear wigs? Sorry. It just popped in my brain.
Okay, so we're going with, mine would be like Pippin, Mary, Sam, and then Frodo last. I can't deal with Frodo. Like, I just cannot.
All right, ranking. So Mary, Sam, I guess he'd be a good caretaker. Frodo, Pippin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Frodo and then Pippin last. Well, hey.
Say
it's all right.
Opposites attract. I don't know.
Opposites attract. He'd be a good caretaker. It's true. Yeah. It's true. He would be a good caretaker.
I see him being a good cook. What he did. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. He'd be with you to the very end.
Yeah.
To the very end.
Yeah, just hopefully he can just put his love of Frodo in, like, transfer it into me. I'll just pretend. I'll wear a wig. Do wear wigs! Frodo wig. You know? It's arranged marriage. You got to do what you got to do to help a sister out. And
now I'm just picturing you with a Frodo wig on. That's just funny. That's just funny anyway.
Oh yeah, we have a treat for Halloween, you guys, with something to do with that. So stay tuned.
I'm so stay tuned. I don't want to give away too much about that, but
just a little treat for people that stayed this long. Okay, so my Smash or Pass for you, because we got to know. I got to know for you. I got to know for the people. All the things.
Okay.
Mr. Clean.
I thought you were going to say Mr. Rogers, and I was like, that is a for sure pass.
Well, we got to put that in there sometime.
Mr. Clean. Can I Google him really quick? Because I don't really remember. He's just like this bald guy, right?
I mean, yeah, he dances with the mob and stuff, in a way. There's been commercials about him. When we were doing the Lynn Truffle guy, this is like, I thought of this one. I was like, okay, commercial guys.
Well, we have an answer. It's going to be a pass, and you want to know why?
Earring! I just remembered.
Earring. He's got an earring, and I can't deal. The white eyebrows, they're fine. The bald head, I don't really love that, but it's okay. And he's buff, so that's cool. What I can't deal with is the earring. Yeah. That's a deal breaker for me.
Why does he have an earring? That's so weird.
It is really weird.
Mark our words. Put this down in your notepad. One day, the Mandela effect's going to happen, and he's not going to have an earring, and they're going to try to make us all think that he never had an earring, because that is a weird choice. But guess what, you guys? He has an earring. I'm calling it now.
In a lot of these photos, too, like, it's not just an earring, but it's like...
Oh, it's huge.
It's like gleaming. It's like, there's like, it's glinting light off of the earring. You know what I mean? So they're making it a point to, like, make the earring extra...
clean.
Like,
shiny.
Extra clean. Extra shiny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a no from me, but, you know, that's okay. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, pass.
Pass. Yeah. Pass.
It's the super shiny head for me. But it doesn't.
Too clean.
Yeah, and then yeah. All right, there we go. There you go, guys. Let us know on this weekend your answers.
I'm sure people will be coming out of the woodwork for Mr. Clean. Also, I'm curious to see out of the core 4 hobbits who wins.
Yeah.
I have an inkling that Frodo is going to come in last place.
Yeah.
Because he's just... It's rough. It's hard times with him.
It's hard times for him.
Yeah. So, you heard it here first, though. And that's what's important.
Yeah. So, you guys, dude, thank you so much for tuning in for this second round of Split and Swallow. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys tuning in every week with us. Don't forget, we post on Fridays too, a little bonus series. Right now we're doing Harry Potter, and we have a new series coming up soon, which if we haven't announced yet, soon we will, because I don't even know when this is going to get posted. So that's great. Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe all the places you like to listen to your favorite podcasts so you don't miss out on all those things. And follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Besties in the Books Podcast so you can vote in these polls, guys. Yeah.
Yep. We need to know. I'm
about to get real weird, so we gotta go.
So we'll see you next Tuesday or next Friday or both of those days.
And all the days.
See you there, guys.
Bye.
Bye.